So today we'll be looking at structural problems and we'll be looking at the learning outcomes. Now, what are we expecting you to be able to do at the end of this lesson? Now, you should be able to identify structural problems of an English sentence, correct the problems, identify and also construct correct sentences. So we are looking at parallelism. So let's look at parallelism. Now, what are the when we talk about parallelism, what kind of sentences are we talking about? We are talking about forms or parallel forms. They are used, or they have a group of words that are identical in grammatical forms in their structure. Now, when they appear in a series, so you have what do you call it now? You can have parallel words, you can have parallel phrases, you can have parallel clauses. So parallel structure, what do they actually do? They help us to emphasize the grammatical and logical relationship of ideas that are expressed. Now, we have some famous sentences that we have in English, and they effectively use parallel structure. Let's look at the example of this common one. Democracy is a government of the people, by the people, and for the people. So democracy is a government of the people, by the people, and for the people. So you have three prepositional phrases that are going, of the people, by the people, for the people. So these are parallel structures. Let's look at another one. You have in this case, you are having what people value most are life, liberty, and happiness. So you have three nouns that are in parallel form that are following the stem that was given first. Now, let's look at the first one. Give me a happy hand or go away. So you have happy hand, you have go away. Now, you have anyway, you actually have two imperatives there. Give me a happy hand, which is a command, then go away, which also a command. So these are also in parallel forms. The early to bed and early to rise makes a man healthy, wealthy, and wise. So you have two sets of parallel structures there. So you have to bed, to rise. You have healthy, wealthy, and wise. So these are three adjectives, and then you have the two infinitives. Then you also have I came, I saw, I conquered. Now these are actually three clauses that are also in the parallel form. To be or not to be, that is the question. So here you are having two infinitives. So parallelism essentially is about when you have words, maybe for emphatic purposes or whatever reason, you have words that are standing side by side. And anyway, they say that parallel lines never meet. So maybe you want to say they stand, but you can see that for them to be parallel, they have to be in the same class. In the same class. Okay, so yeah, we see have other examples. Friends, brothers, and sisters. Let us reason together. So you have friends, brothers, sisters. So these are also three nouns again. Now, it's important that grammatical elements of the same nature must appear, and this is what I was saying, that they have to be of they just have to be of what do you call it now? They have to be of the same grammatical categories. So parallel structure are used for what? For emphasis, and then also for grammatical logical connections. So you have by the time they stand staccato and they sound how do you call it now? So it becomes memorable. So some of the examples that we have give before, they become memorable just because of the way they were used. Now let's look at this ones. Will you say that these examples are parallel? He likes eating, sleeping, and to read. So I want in the comment section for you to give me what do you think is the correct way to have structured this particular sentence. Do you think there's something wrong? What do you think is wrong? Reading is a more rewarding activity than to watch videos. So what do you think is the correct way to render this if you think they are wrong? So the next thing we're going to look at is fragmentation. So fragmentation. So this is a situation where one of the essential parts of a sentence is absent. Now, an incomplete sentence is presented as if it is complete through the use of period mark or any other end punctuation. So you have, if you have watched a video on punctuation marks, you we talk about the end punctuation mark as different from the internal punctuation marks. So to identify such structure now, the subject or predicate is likely to be missing. So like then in fragmentation also have result from the confusion between final and non-final verb. Now, why final verbs can't stand alone, final verbs or are full verbs which can as act as verbal elements in clauses, please. That should be verbal elements in clauses. So let's look at example here. So what are the example of non-final verbs? So we have infinitives: to go, to be, to have, to hold. Then you have participles: going, being, saying, done, been. Then you also have the final ones. So go, do, have, is, said. Of course, is a be verb. Then said, like, love, spoke. Now you can have many, you can give more examples. So let's look at this and talk about this one. Now, hoping to hear from you soon. Hoping to hear from you soon. To do that, it is what I want. Now look at hoping to hear from you soon. What do you think is wrong with that sentence? So I think the proper intention should have been, I hope to hear from you soon. I hope to, and that's why there was no full stop, because it's actually a hanging sentence. Of course, even you may anyway, you may accuse the other ones of that, but they still have this thing. So we can say something like, I hope to hear from you soon. So let's put that in blue color. I hope to hear from you soon. So in this way, you find that the um you find that in this case now, you are seeing that the sentence is no longer fragmented, because the way it was before, you are wondering what went before. Now let's look at the next sentence. So the next sentence, let's look at this. To do that, it is what I want. So you can say something like, I want to do that. um Or you can also say, that is what I want to do. So I think this one um may make more sense. So in this case, the sentence become full. It's no longer dangling. In this case, it becomes a sentence. I mean, it's no longer fragmented, rather. So our teacher is always rude because she's much older. Now in this case too, what is the problem? The problem is actually the full stop that have been put before because. So let's reconstruct this sentence now. Let's reconstruct it. Our teacher is always rude because she is much older. I sincerely hope your teacher is not giving you that kind of issue. So let's look at this. So when you look at this, you have what do you call it now, a full sentence there. So that putting the full stop there is what caused the problem for this sentence. But now when we remove the full stop, we see that the sentence now stands alone. Now let's look at the next example here. However, we should not forget that fragmentation can also be used for dramatic effects. Now this is also an important point to make. Dangling modifiers can be used for dramatic effects. So in this case, it may not be seen as a problematic issue, but to be seen as having dramatic effect. So okay, so let's look at some examples. Then also, of course, in case you are having a conversation with somebody in colloquial structures, the person may not, the way you do informal writing, and you put the full sentence, you may actually not do that in this case. So you are having a sentence, but you are not, how do I put it now? But you are not, you are not giving the full sentence the way you give, like you do in a formal situation. So, um, but then if you are having a formal structure, or you are having a formal presentation, it is better you use the formal ones. Let's let but if you are having a colloquial uh, speech event, then it is allowed. Uh, let's look at this example. I shall not take that nonsense from her, not me. In a dramatic piece, in a novel, I mean, this is perfect. It expresses emotion. It expresses depth of emotion, which when you say it's dramatic piece, it's supposed to be dramatic. So, and that is the whole point that we are making here. So let's see the let's take note of this and be able to ensure that we know this as we go along. I don't know, maybe I will just continue. I think okay, so let's take these other topics. I was thinking I should separate them. Or what do you guys think? I think I will separate them into different. I should even take all these subtopics as individual subtopics in to make it easier for us to practice and to understand better. So we are going to leave this and break this into another class. So see you guys in the next video.